So we have 4 types of donations that we accept for this particular event. So any online donation made through the GiveLocalNRV.org website. And the website is great in terms of giving folks a lot of options. So once you're on the website and say I'm making a gift to the community foundation, but I like to use Venmo a lot for I use it with paying for with friends, for splitting a bill. I like to make donations that way. There's an option to do that. There's also an option to give via Google Pay, credit card, your debit card. If the through PayPal, if the amount is over $50, you can connect it to your bank account. So there's a lot of flexibility there in terms of how people can give once they're on the GiveLocalNRV website. But there are fees associated with the website. So those fees are 5.9% plus 30 cents. And what those cover are covering credit card transaction fees, help paying for the website platform. So we use a service called Mighty Cause, which helps it offers this really robust platform that we use, and you can kind of do all kinds of things with your organization page. You have all kinds of reporting and different tools. They are the ones who put together the leaderboards on the giving day. There's a ton of functionality, and with that comes just a bit of a cost. So we ask folks to chip into that. And then there's a 1% fee that goes to the community foundation to help offset things like marketing and publicity efforts for the foundation. So we know not everyone wants to pay those fees, which we get, which is part of the reason why we offer the offline donations. But we do see about 90% of people who are making a gift online through the GiveLocalNRV website, they usually cover the fees. So your organization gets the whole amount. So for example, if I was giving $100 to Floyd Friends of Asylum Seekers, it would have a box at the bottom that says, do you want to pay the fees? And if I check that, the total amount that I would be giving would be something like $106. So the $100 would go to, that full donation would go to Floyd Friends of the Asylum Seekers, and that $6 is divided among those different fees. If the donor chose not to do that, then Floyd Friends of Asylum Seekers would receive about $94 and the fees would still come off. So if folks would prefer to give in a different way, or if they're just more comfortable that way, or if you have an in-person event and people want to give you checks or cash, we want to make that possible for you all. The 3 types of offline donations that count for this event are cash gifts, which aren't super common, but as I said, with events, that is something that we see with folks of like, we got a $5 donation here and 10 here, and can we count that? And the answer is yes. So it's probably more common if you're having some kind of event, but sometimes people do drop off cash. Checks are probably our most common one here. And then wire transfers are probably less common, but we do see those occasionally, and those are acceptable as well. So donation timing. So early giving kicks off on June 1st. And what we like about that model is it gives you essentially the whole month to fundraise and build up excitement and awareness around the day with your followers and supporters. So only donations received between June 1 and noon on Thursday, June 27th, can be counted toward your giving day totals. And so noon on June 27th, that's when the giving event ends. And so there's all that build up in the weeks before the giving day, and then things kick off on Wednesday, June 26th at noon, and they go to noon the next day. So these are, this is the donation window. But if these donations are offline donation, those checks, cash, or wire transfers to count toward your event, they must be dated between June 1 and June 27th. And of course, we know cash won't have a date, but the wire transfers and checks have to fall within that window. And entered into the system by noon on June 27th, and that's for all types of donations. So don't sit on a donation and not add it into the system. So everything has to be within those parameters every year, and this is it just happens, and it's not the end of the world, but folks will call us and say, hey, we got a donation, but it's dated May 30th. Can we count it? And we say, we're so sorry. We can't for this particular event, but congratulations on the donation. It's all money flowing into your organization. It just can't count toward your giving day totals. And the reason why is we have to have these parameters with the event just because we have so many people participating, and we want to be able to give everyone sort of the same playbook to be reading off of. And so that's why we have these parameters. But we had that happen at the Community Foundation too. People will drop off a check early. And if you know the donor well, you can say, hey, would you mind writing this again and sending it in June? But that's not always possible. But so we know that's disappointing. We also have it on the other end where people get donations after the event. And just remember, it's all donations going into your organization, and that's what matters, even if it can't be counted toward your giving day totals specifically. So what donations aren't allowed? And these are examples of things that we've been asked in the past. Probably one of the bigger ones is the amount of ways that people can give is really incredible. We live so much of our lives online. So many people, so many organizations have a donation form on their website. They do Facebook fundraisers, GoFundMe fundraisers, all sorts of things. But we do not allow these types of donations to be counted toward giving day totals. That if your donor is giving online, it has to be through the GiveLocalNRV website. And like I said before, there's a lot of different ways that folks can give once they're on that platform. But if you're getting donations from somewhere else, you cannot add them into the system. Same thing with credit card donations that are processed outside the GiveLocalNRV website, such as an event, a box office, or front office. One of the great parts about this event is we are driving a ton of traffic to this one website, and donors are often clicking on a link that you are posting, right? Like a direct link to your page. But we have a lot of donors who are like, I want to see who else is participating in the Giving Day this year. And they go to search and they go and look for other favorite organizations, or they go to the website and they're like, I have my 5 favorite organizations I know I'm going to give to, and they start typing them in. So by keeping all that activity on this one website, we are potentially generating gifts for other organizations as well and keeping people's attention there. And then on the giving day itself, they can kind of follow along on the fun. It's really fun to watch the numbers go up and the leaderboards change. So driving all that traffic to one specific place, that's the strategy behind it. And then also we know that sometimes folks receive in-kind donations. Those can't be added to the website. And then these two are about the date parameters. So if you receive those checks or wire transfers dated outside of June 1 to the 27th, they are not allowed to be added. And I had the same thing below there. I don't know why it's basically saying two things, the same thing twice. But yeah, no offline donations, putting it another way, no offline donations that were received before June 1 can be counted, or after June 27th at noon. So if you're getting checks, cash, and wire transfers, make sure you're adding them into the system. And for checks and wire transfers, make sure you're keeping a copy of that information in case we ask for it. Sometimes the prizes are really close between a couple people, and it could come down to $100 donation. So we might ask for if you could send in a copy of the check just so we can confirm all the details. So once an offline donation is added into the system, it is automatically approved by the system if it's under $1,000, but if it's over $1,000, we will need you to send us a note with a copy of the check or the wire transfer details, and we need to see the whole front of the check just so we can see the date and who sent it and all those details, and just to have that confirmation before we approve it in the system.